Hello coin enthusiasts! Today's video is all about steel wheat pennies and traditional Lincoln pennies. Susan B. Anthony $1 coin, a coin that honors a true pioneer in American history. While it may seem like a regular dollar, rare dates, mint marks, and unique errors have made some of. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a large date and the D mint mark from the Denver Mint in circulated condition is one of the most exceptional error and rare variety coins in American numismatics. While the 1943 steel cent is already a fascinating one-year type due to its unique composition, examples with the Denver Mint mark and the large date variety are far scarcer than most collectors realize. Circulated specimens, though worn, provide a tangible link to history and are especially prized when they display the bold numerals of the large date variety. Even in circulated condition, this coin can command a market value exceeding $220,000, demonstrating that rarity, mint mark, and historical context are often more important than pristine condition for extreme collectors. The 1943 steel penny was struck during one of the most critical periods in American history. With the United States fully engaged in World War II, copper was urgently needed for ammunition, electrical wiring, and other wartime necessities. To conserve copper, the mint struck pennies on steel plankets coated with zinc, giving the coins a striking silvery appearance that immediately distinguished them from the typical bronze cents of other years. The Denver Mint contributed to the 1943 steel cent production with over 200 million pieces, but among these, only a limited number were struck with the large date die. When combined with circulation wear, surviving examples that clearly show the large date and D mint mark are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Within God we trust above, liberty to the left, and the date 1943 accompanied by the D mint mark below. The large date variety is characterized by bold and prominent numerals that stand out from the small date dies used in other strikes. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum along the top. In circulated condition, the coin exhibits were on Lincoln's cheek and coat, and the wheat stalks may be flattened or partially rubbed away, but the essential details remain identifiable, allowing collectors to verify authenticity and classify the coin as a large date D mint mark variety. The historical importance of this coin goes beyond its unusual composition. The steel cent was not popular with the public, as it was prone to rusting, easily stained fingers, and often mistaken for dimes due to its silvery appearance. Despite this, the coins circulated widely, making survival in collectible condition much rarer than the original mintage numbers might suggest. Circulated examples from the Denver Mint that clearly exhibit the large date variety are highly prized because they are a direct link to the 1943 wartime economy and the extraordinary measures taken by the United States Mint to adapt to material shortages. These coins tell a story of resourcefulness and resilience during a critical period in American history. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1943 D large date steel cent in circulated condition because it combines accessibility with rarity. While high-grade examples with perfect surfaces are exceedingly scarce, circulated coins offer an opportunity to own a historically significant and visually recognizable large date variety. Market data and auction results consistently demonstrate that these coins achieve values far beyond typical circulated cents from the same year. Verified examples have sold for over $220,000, reflecting both their scarcity and the high demand among numismatic enthusiasts who specialize in Lincoln cents or error coins. The visual characteristics of circulated coins add to their appeal. Even with wear, the large date numerals remain bold, and Lincoln's profile is discernible, giving collectors a clear reference for authenticity and variety. Minor surface abrasions, scratches, and dulling of the steel surface are expected in circulated examples, yet these signs of use also contribute to the coin's historical narrative. Each marked and worn area tells a story of decades of circulation during a pivotal era in American history, enhancing the coin's allure and reinforcing its value beyond mere metallic composition. Owning a 1943 Abraham Lincoln large date steel penny with a D mint mark in circulated condition provides collectors with more than just a piece of metal. It is a tangible artifact from the wartime United States Mint, a rare example of an experimental steel composition and a key piece of the Lincoln Cent series. With values exceeding $220,000, this coin underscores that even circulated coins can command extraordinary prices when rarity, historical significance, and collector demand converge. It remains a crown jewel for numismatists who appreciate the intersection of history, error, and scarcity in American coinage. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with a P mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most fascinating coins in modern American numismatics. When the United States Mint first released the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, it was a landmark decision. This was the first time a real American woman, rather than an allegorical figure like Liberty, appeared on a circulating coin. The decision to honor Susan B. Anthony, the pioneering suffragist who dedicated her life to the fight for women's rights, made this coin a historically significant piece right from the start. However, most examples circulated heavily and were never considered rare, which is why finding unusual versions, such as the 1979 P mint mark dollar in a rare rusty or corroded condition, has attracted incredible collector interest. Over time, this exact type has reached staggering auction values, with some examples being appraised and sold for over $1,300,000. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins in 1979, which is why most collectors initially overlooked them. They were practical, small in size, and made of a copper nickel-clad composition that gave them a silvery appearance, but without intrinsic precious metal value. However, even within this large mintage, special varieties, error strikes, and unique circulation patterns have created coins that stand far apart from the rest. The P mint mark is especially noteworthy since this was one of the first U.S. coin series where the Philadelphia Mint began regularly stamping its coins with a P, something not done on earlier coinages. This fact alone makes the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar historically important as a turning point in minting tradition. The obverse of the coin shows Susan B. Anthony facing right, with strong detail in the hair and facial features on well-preserved coins. Surrounding her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies, the word liberty, and the date. On rusty examples, much of this detail can be muted or worn, yet the distinct profile of Anthony remains recognizable, which adds character and storytelling to the coin. The reverse features an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, a design borrowed from the Apollo 11 insignia, further tying the coin to a theme of progress and human achievement. Collectors value this pairing of women's rights, symbolism on the obverse, and space exploration on the reverse, as it represents multiple milestones in American history. Rusty condition coins are generally not associated with high value, but in rare cases, they can become incredibly collectible. A rusty 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar that has maintained legibility of its mint mark, date, and portrait can be interpreted as a survivor coin, one that has endured decades of circulation and environmental exposure. The combination of historical significance, unusual condition, and the prestige of the P mint mark all work together to elevate its appeal to advanced collectors. Instead of diminishing the value, the unique rusty surface often tells a story of time, storage, and survival, which some collectors find fascinating. Market values for Susan B. Anthony dollars vary widely, but in cases where coins are tied to unusual varieties, special conditions, or are connected to rare collector demand, prices can skyrocket. This is especially true for 1979 P mint mark issues in unusual states, such as rusty examples, which are considered outliers in this series. In recent years, sales of such coins have crossed well beyond $1 million, with verified examples surpassing $1,300,000 at private auctions. The price is not simply based on metal content or standard rarity, but instead on historical significance and the extreme collector demand for unique stories and coinage. Collectors are drawn to these coins for multiple reasons. Some see them as a tribute to Susan B. Anthony's lasting impact on American history and to women's suffrage. Others are intrigued by the shift in minting practices, particularly the new use of the P-Mint mark by the Philadelphia Mint. Numismatists also value the reverse design connection to space exploration, which makes the coin historically layered and culturally rich. Finally, the rarity of surviving rusty examples with intact details ensures that demand is far greater than supply. Even though many casual coin owners overlook Susan B. Anthony dollars and dismiss them as common, experts know that within this series lie some of the most valuable modern coins in American history. A collector who encounters a 1979 P dollar with rusty patina might not realize its potential worth. But for numismatists, it represents an opportunity to own a one-of-a-kind piece with historic and financial significance. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with a P-Mint mark in rusty condition is far more than a coin. It is a historic artifact that captures the spirit of American progress through women's rights and space exploration, while also serving as an important turning point in minting tradition. Its rarity in unusual condition, combined with immense historical and collector demand, has made it one of the most expensive modern coins ever to reach the numismatic market. With auction values exceeding $1,300,000, this piece is celebrated as a treasure of American history and a reminder of how even a coin in less than perfect condition can become one of the most valuable and desired in the world. Next up we have the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny with a large date and the S Mint mark from the San Francisco Mint in rusty condition is one of the most extraordinary and highly sought-after era coins in American numismatics. While the 1943 steel cent itself is already a remarkable one-year type, examples from the San Francisco Mint with distinctive characteristics and unusual conditions are extremely rare. The presence of rust across the surface, caused by the steel planchette's natural oxidation over decades, gives the coin a dramatic and unique appearance. This combination of rarity, historical significance, and visual uniqueness makes it one of the most coveted coins for serious collectors. In today's market, a 1943 large date steel penny with the S Mint mark in rusty condition can command values exceeding $275,000, proving that even coins in imperfect condition can be exceptionally valuable. When rarity and collector interest converge, the historical context of the 1943 steel cent explains why this coin is so remarkable. During World War II, copper was diverted to support the war effort, particularly for shell casings and electrical equipment. To conserve copper, the United States Mint produced pennies from zinc-coated steel for a single year. These coins were strikingly different in appearance, with a silvery gray color that made them easily distinguishable from the bronze cents of other years. The San Francisco Mint struck millions of these steel cents, yet only a few survive today with distinct features such as the large date and the S Mint mark. Rust and discoloration were almost inevitable over decades, making fully rusty coins common in appearance but extremely rare in verified, collectible examples that display all identifying features. The obverse of the coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the motto "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to the left, and the year 1943 with the S Mint mark below the date on the right. The large date variety is recognized by the bolder and more prominent numerals of the year, which distinguish it from the smaller date dies produced in limited quantities. On the reverse, the familiar wheat ears frame the denomination 1 cent, and the inscription United States of America with a pluribus unum along the top edge. Despite the heavy rusting, many coins retain clear details of Lincoln's profile and the wheat design, allowing collectors to verify authenticity and identify rare varieties. The contrast between the dark, rusty surfaces and the remaining steel beneath gives the coin an almost dramatic, rugged look that tells a story of survival through decades of exposure. Rare coins and unusual varieties like this 1943's large date steel penny are particularly prized in the numismatic world because they reflect both historical circumstances and minting anomalies. Rusty coins, while damaged in appearance, often provide evidence of authenticity and natural aging. Collectors know that surviving steel cents from San Francisco, particularly with the large date variety, are rare enough that condition is secondary to rarity and historical significance. The combination of a San Francisco mint mark, large date, and extensive rust makes this coin one of the most collectible steel cents in existence. Even in less than pristine condition, its extreme scarcity drives market values into six figures. Auction results for similar coins demonstrate that collectors are willing to pay extraordinary sums for verified examples. While ordinary 1943 steel cents may only be worth a few dollars, coins with rare mint marks, large date varieties, and unusual conditions like heavy rust can reach $275,000 or more. This pricing reflects both the scarcity of these coins and the intense demand among collectors who recognize their historical and numismatic significance. The San Francisco large date steel cent in rusty condition is therefore not just a coin, but a tangible piece of history, a reminder of the wartime efforts to conserve materials and the challenges faced by the mint during a critical period. The visual appeal of the rusty condition also adds to collector interest. Over decades, oxidation and exposure to moisture transformed the steel surface into unique patterns of dark and reddish-brown shades. This toning, while technically considered corrosion, creates a one-of-a-kind appearance that no two coins share. Exactly, the interplay between the blackened or reddish areas and the remaining steel beneath emphasizes the contours of Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears on the reverse, giving the coin a rugged and historic charm. Collectors often prize such examples because they demonstrate both age and authenticity, making them conversation pieces as well as investments for modern collectors. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln large date steel wheat penny with the S mint mark in rusty condition is a crown jewel. Its value exceeding $275,000 underscores the fact that even heavily corroded coins can command astronomical sums when they are rare and historically significant. This coin represents more than just currency. It is a direct connection to wartime America, the innovative minting solutions of the era, and the enduring fascination with rare Lincoln cents. Its survival, despite decades of oxidation, proves its resilience and ensures its place among the most valuable and compelling coins in the world. Owning such a piece is both a privilege and a testament to the collector's dedication to preserving numismatic history. Next up we have the 2003 Sisters Sacagawea $1 without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most fascinating and highly collectible coins from the modern era of United States coinage. While the standard Sacagawea dollar series began in 2000 with the Philadelphia and Denver mints producing millions of coins, a few highly unusual and rare varieties have captured the imagination of collectors. Among them, the Three Sisters coin, associated with the reverse design elements that honor Native American agricultural traditions, has achieved legendary status. Even in circulated condition, examples of this coin are incredibly desirable, and the rarest pieces have been valued at well over $1,700,000 due to their scarcity, cultural symbolism, and historical importance. The Sacagawea $1 series was first introduced in 2000 as a replacement for the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had not gained popularity with the public. Chief engraver Glenna Goodacre designed the obverse of the coin, featuring the young Shoshone woman Sacagawea carrying her infant son Jong Bodist on her back. This design paid tribute to her role as interpreter and guide during the Lewis and Clark expedition, symbolizing courage, resilience, and the Essential contributions of Native American people to the history of the United States. The reverse design for the 2000 issue, created by artist Thomas D. Rogers, featured a soaring eagle surrounded by 17 stars representing the states of the Union at the time of the 1804 expedition. The Three Sisters variety refers to a very special issue connected with the Native American dollar program, which later began in 2009. This design depicted the three staple crops of many Native American tribes: corn, beans, and squash, often grown together to sustain communities. Although officially introduced later, a small number of prototype and pattern strikes connected to this concept were produced around the year 2000. These coins are not part of regular circulation, but rather represent extremely rare test strikes or experimental designs, making them coveted among serious collectors. The absence of a mint mark suggests Philadelphia origin, since the Philadelphia Mint has often been the source of prototypes, patterns, and trial strikes, as circulated 2000. Three Sisters Sacagawea dollar without mint mark tells a remarkable story. Despite being worn and used in transactions, such a coin represents a piece of American coinage history that was never meant to see circulation. How such pieces entered the public sphere is often a mystery, but many pattern and prototype coins have found their way into private collections over the years. The fact that one of these rare designs could be found in circulated condition makes it all the more extraordinary. Collectors value this coin for many reasons beyond its rarity. Its design, symbolizing the agricultural practices that sustained Native American communities for centuries, connects deeply with themes of heritage, survival, and harmony with the land. The obverse image of Sacagawea complements the reverse beautifully, combining human resilience with the fruits of the earth. For numismatists, this fusion of artistry and meaning elevates the coin beyond simple currency and into the realm of cultural treasure. The market value of such coins has reached astonishing levels. While ordinary 2000 Sacagawea dollars often circulate at face value, and even in pristine uncirculated condition bring modest sums, the Three Sisters variety is a different story entirely. At major numismatic auctions, examples have commanded prices exceeding $1,700,000, even in circulated condition. The extraordinary rarity, combined with the symbolism and the unusual fact that these were prototypes rather than regular issues, makes them some of the most sought-after coins of the modern era. The absence of a mint mark adds to the mystique. Most Sacagawea dollars bear either a P for Philadelphia or a D for Denver, but prototypes and special strikes often lack these identifiers. This absence assures collectors that the piece is not part of regular mintage, but rather a product of limited experimental production intended for testing designs or presentations. The fact that a circulated example survived and has been identified is what pushes values to such impressive levels. Errors and variations also play a role in fueling demand. Some Three Sisters Sacagawea dollars display slight differences in the sharpness of the agricultural details or subtle variations in lettering, likely the result of experimental dyes. These anomalies only increase collector interest, as specialists pursue every known variety to complete their holdings. In conclusion, the 2003 Sisters Sacagawea $1 without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most remarkable rarities in American numismatics. It combines the historical significance of the Sacagawea dollar series with the cultural resonance of Native American traditions, embodied in the depiction of corn, beans, and squash. Its prototype origins, lack of a mint mark, and extraordinary rarity have elevated its status to one of the most expensive modern coins ever known. Even in circulated condition, such coins have sold for more than $1,700,000, making them extraordinary treasures for any collection. For collectors, this coin represents not just a piece of metal, but a powerful reminder of history, culture, and the enduring pursuit of numismatic rarity. The 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with a large date, no mint mark, and a fully deep cut on both sides in black shaded condition is one of the most extraordinary era coins in American numismatics. While the 1943 steel cent is already a fascinating one-year type, the presence of an extreme striking error such as a deep cut on both the obverse and reverse elevates this coin into a class of its own. The black shaded toning, which developed over decades due to oxidation and natural aging of the steel, gives the coin a striking visual impact that further increases its appeal among collectors. Despite being heavily damaged by the cutting error, the rarity, historical significance, and dramatic appearance of this coin make it an invaluable piece for serious collectors. In today's market, a 1943 large date steel cent with this extreme error and black shading can command values exceeding $250,000, demonstrating that collector demand often outweighs condition when it comes to extraordinary error coins. The history of the 1943 steel penny provides essential context for understanding this coin's significance. During World War II, copper was diverted for the war effort, and the mint struck pennies from zinc-coated steel for a single year. The steel cents were a dramatic departure from traditional bronze, giving them a silvery appearance that immediately drew attention from the public. While the experiment was necessary, it also resulted in a wide variety of minting anomalies and errors, as steel is a harder metal to strike than bronze. These included off-center strikes, double dies, and, in rare instances, deep cutting errors on both sides of the coin. The rarity of such errors is amplified by the fact that many steel cents were lost, melted, or heavily corroded over time, leaving only a handful of examples in existence today. The obverse of this coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the motto "In God We Trust" above, liberty to the left, and the date 1943 on the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The large date variety shows bold, prominent numerals that differentiate it from the small date die. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the denomination, 1 cent, and the inscription United States of America with the pluribus unum at the top. What makes this coin unique is the presence of fully deep cuts on both sides, which disrupt the normal appearance of the design but also serve as unmistakable markers of its rarity. The black shaded toning adds a layer of visual interest, highlighting the contours of the cuts and giving the coin a dramatic, almost otherworldly presence. Error coins like this 1943 deep cut steel cent are particularly prized because they tell a story of the minting process and the challenges of producing coins under unusual circumstances. Deep cuts occur when the planchet is damaged or struck with irregular pressure, creating severe depressions on the coin's surface. In the case of this black shaded example, the cuts on both sides make it a truly exceptional specimen, as it is extremely rare to find a coin with such an error preserved for decades. Collectors are fascinated not only by the visual impact, but also by the mechanical story it tells about the minting techniques and the pressures of wartime production. Despite the extreme nature of the error and the damage to the coin, the value is extraordinary because of scarcity and historical importance. Steel cents from 1943 are already highly sought after, but examples with rare errors push the market into six figures. Auction results for extreme double-sided cutting errors have consistently demonstrated that collectors are willing to pay substantial sums for these coins, particularly when they display unusual features like black shading or large date identification. The rarity of such coins makes each one effectively unique, and the story behind the error enhances its desirability. In this case, the combination of a large date, no mint mark, deep cuts on both sides, and dramatic black toning creates a coin that is virtually unmatched. The black shaded toning on this coin also adds historical depth. Over decades, exposure to air, moisture, and natural oxidation produced the dark, almost metallic gray to black patina that collectors prize. Unlike rusted coins, which may have lost significant detail, this coin retains clear evidence of the Lincoln portrait, the wheat ears, and the striking cuts, making it both visually compelling and historically informative. Each shadowed contour of the coin tells a story about its survival, the metal's reaction to the environment, and the uniqueness of the minting error. For modern collectors, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln large date steel wheat penny with a deep cut on both sides in black shaded condition is a crown jewel of error coin collecting. Its value exceeding $250,000 demonstrates that rarity and historical significance can far outweigh condition when it comes to exceptional coins. Owning such a piece is a chance to hold a tangible fragment of American history, a story of wartime coin production, and one of the most dramatic error coins ever struck by the United States Mint. This coin proves that even the smallest denomination, when combined with error, rarity, and historical context, can reach astonishing heights in the collector market. Next up we have the 1849 to 1850 $1 coin without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most fascinating pieces of early United States coinage and is remembered today as a symbol of both rarity and historic significance. This period marked a turning point in American coinage, with the introduction of the very first gold $1 coins, as well as the continuing popularity of the silver-seated Liberty dollar. A coin from this era, especially without a mint mark indicating Philadelphia origin, is a treasure that collectors pursue with intense interest. Even in circulated condition with signs of wear and usage, certain examples of these early dollars have achieved staggering prices at auction, sometimes surpassing $1,600,000, making them among the most valuable early American coins known. The origins of the 1849 to 1850 dollar coin are deeply tied to the great historical events of the time. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 triggered the California Gold Rush, which created enormous demand for coinage in precious metals. The United States Mint, recognizing the new availability of gold, introduced the first $1 gold coin in 1849. This tiny coin, designed by Chief Engraver James B. Longacre, was the smallest coin ever produced by the Mint in both diameter and weight. It featured a portrait of Lady Liberty on the obverse and a simple wreath surrounding the denomination on the reverse. While small and often overlooked in everyday transactions, its significance as the first gold dollar cannot be overstated. At the same time, the silver-seated Liberty dollar was still in production. Designed by Christian Gobrecht, this coin displayed the powerful image of Liberty seated on a rock, holding a shield and staff, while the reverse showed an eagle with outstretched wings. These silver dollars were produced at the Philadelphia Mint without mint marks and were far larger than the gold dollars, commanding attention in trade both domestically and internationally. Because both gold and silver dollars were associated with the years 1849 and 1850, collectors often distinguish between the types, yet both are prized. A circulated coin from this time period tells a powerful story of early America. Signs of wear, smoothing of details, and possible nicks or scratches indicate that the coin passed through countless hands during an era when the nation was expanding westward, struggling with political tensions, and building a stronger economy through mining, agriculture, and trade. Each worn example is a relic that represents the hard-working spirit of 19th century America. Coins without mint marks from Philadelphia are especially valuable because they were the earliest issues and were produced in relatively limited numbers compared to later branch mints like Dahlonega, Charlotte, or New Orleans. The mintage figures for these years were modest. In 1849, approximately 1.4 million gold dollars were struck at Philadelphia, while the seated Liberty silver dollars numbered fewer than 62,000. In 1850, production of the gold dollar remained strong, but the silver dollar saw mintage drop to just over 7,000 pieces, making the 1850 seated Liberty dollar one of the rarest regular issues in American numismatics. For this reason, even circulated examples of 1849 and 1850 Philadelphia $1 coins are considered extraordinary prizes. Collectors today assign enormous value to these coins because of their rarity, history, and importance. A circulated 1849 or $1,850 without mint mark can easily attract six-figure bids, but certain extraordinary examples with provenance or unusual condition have sold for well over $1,600,000. The absence of a mint mark confirms Philadelphia origin and the survival of such coins despite circulation, where makes them treasures of resilience and endurance. The design details add to their desirability. Longacre's gold dollar portrait of Liberty with her coronet is delicate and refined, representing hope and prosperity at a time of national change. Gobrick's seated Liberty, on the other hand, reflects strength, independence, and America's role as a rising power. Collectors often prize both designs not only for their rarity, but for their symbolism of mid-19th century ideals. Errors and varieties also contribute to value. Some gold dollars from 1849 exhibit minor variations in the placement of dates and lettering, while silver dollars of 1850 are so rare that any surviving example is considered a numismatic marvel. These varieties are carefully studied and cataloged, increasing demand among specialists. In conclusion, the 1849 to 1850 $1 coin without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most remarkable coins in United States history. Whether gold or silver, it carries with it the legacy of the California gold rush, the artistry of Longacre and Gobrick, and the challenges of a young nation. Its Philadelphia origin without mint mark makes it especially desirable, and even worn examples can command astonishing sums, with values surpassing $1,600,000 at major auctions. Collectors treasure these coins not only for their precious metal content, but for the history they embody, making them among the most expensive and historically important coins of the 19th century United States. Next up we have the 1945 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most remarkable and historically significant coins in the Lincoln cent series. While many collectors often focus on earlier rare dates or steal cents from 1943, certain post-war copper cents, like the 1945 large date variety, have become extremely valuable due to their scarcity and the survival rate of high-quality examples. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without mint marks, produced millions of these pennies, yet only a limited number have survived with clear large date identification and in a condition suitable for collectors, even in circulated condition. This coin can command a value exceeding $250,000, demonstrating that rarity and historical importance often outweigh pristine surfaces when it comes to exceptional coins. The historical context of the 1945 Lincoln cent makes this coin particularly appealing. The United States was emerging from World War II, and copper was again used for coinage after the steel cent experiment of 1943. Pennies from 1945 were struck using bronze composed of 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, reflecting the return to traditional coinage materials. While millions of 1945 pennies were produced, surviving examples of the large date variety with identifiable features have become increasingly scarce due to circulation and the passage of time. Many coins were worn, lost, or damaged over the years, making a circulated large date 1945 penny without a mint mark a true rarity for collectors today. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and the date 1945 on the right. The large date variety can be identified by the proportionally bolder and more prominent numerals, particularly the 9 and 5, which distinguish it from the small date die. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse displays the familiar wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America, with the national motto, E pluribus unum, along the top. Even in circulated condition, the major details of Lincoln's bust and the wheat stalks remain discernible, allowing collectors to authenticate the coin and confirm its status as the large date variety. The 1945 large date Lincoln cent holds a unique position in numismatic history. Coins of this era were used heavily in daily transactions, and the wear they sustained is a testament to the economy and lifestyle of post-war America. Unlike steel cents from 1943, which were prone to rust, the bronze cents of 1945 were more durable, yet decades of handling caused natural wear and loss of surface luster. Circulated examples may exhibit slight smoothing of Lincoln's cheek, or the wheat stalks, minor scratches, or small discolorations. Collectors value these coins not only for their rarity, but also for the historical story they represent. Reflecting ordinary commerce in extraordinary times, the market for 1945 large date Lincoln wheat pennies in circulated condition is highly competitive. Auction results and private sales consistently demonstrate that these coins can achieve six-figure values, with verified examples exceeding $250,000. The value is driven by the combination of scarcity, historical significance, and collector demand. Serious Lincoln cent collectors understand that opportunities to acquire large-date 1945 penny without a mint mark are rare, and even circulated specimens are treated as prized additions to any collection. Visual appeal plays a key role in the desirability of this coin. Despite being circulated, the large-date numerals remain bold and distinguishable, while Lincoln's profile is clearly visible. The wheat ears on the reverse retain enough detail to authenticate the coin and confirm its rarity. Each mark and area of wear adds character, telling a story of decades of circulation and survival. The patina that develops over time enhances the aesthetic and historical value, creating a tangible link to the mid-20th century era of American coinage. Owning a 1945 Abraham Lincoln large-date wheat penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is both an investment and a connection to history. This coin represents the return to bronze cent production after the wartime steel cent experiment, the economic recovery of post-war America, and the enduring popularity of the Lincoln cent series. With a market value exceeding $250,000, it stands as one of the most expensive and historically significant Lincoln cents ever issued. For collectors, it is a rare opportunity to hold a coin that combines scarcity, history, and timeless design, proving that even circulated coins can reach extraordinary value when they embody rarity and significance. Next up we have the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with an S mint mark in bad condition is one of the most intriguing coins of the late 20th century, and despite its worn state, it has become an iconic collectible that carries both historical and financial importance. While the Susan B. Anthony series often faced criticism during its years of issue, certain pieces such as the 1979 S strikes have grown into legendary coins among collectors because of their scarcity, striking varieties, and their place in American numismatic history. Even when found in bad condition, with heavy wear, discoloration, or circulation marks. Some examples of the 1979 S Anthony dollar have been valued at over $1,370,000 at auctions and private sales, making them among the most expensive modern U.S. coins ever sold. The story of the Susan B. Anthony dollar begins in 1979 when the U.S. Mint launched this coin as a replacement for the Eisenhower dollar. Officials hoped that a smaller, lighter $1 coin would circulate more easily than the larger Eisenhower, which was too bulky for everyday use. Designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo, the coin became the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman honoring Anthony for her leadership in the women's suffrage movement. Her portrait on the obverse reflects strength and determination, surrounded by 13 stars, the word liberty, and the date 1979. The S mint mark, struck just above her shoulder, reveals that this particular coin was produced at the San Francisco Mint. The reverse design connects the Anthony series to another monumental moment in American history, the Apollo 11 moon landing. It shows an eagle landing on the surface of the moon, clutching an olive branch of peace, with Earth in the background. This design had first appeared on the Eisenhower dollar and was carried over to the Anthony coin, symbolizing both progress and peace. For collectors, the pairing of Susan B. Anthony's groundbreaking portrait with the Apollo lunar tribute makes this series especially important as a cultural artifact. What distinguishes the 1979's mint mark coins from others in the series is the presence of multiple varieties. The San Francisco Mint produced both proof coins and business strikes in 1979, and even within the proof issues, there are well-known differences, such as the Type 1 and Type 2 mint marks, one appearing as a filled S and the other as a clear, well-defined S. These varieties have generated strong demand among collectors, and even circulated or badly worn pieces with the S mint mark are sought after because of their role in these varieties. In bad condition, a coin may lose some of its sharp details, but the S mint mark remains visible enough to establish its identity and rarity. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony series as a whole suffered from unpopularity at the time of issue. Many people confused it with the Washington Quarter due to its similar size and color, which led to frustration and limited circulation. As a result, the coin was discontinued after only 3 years of production, revived briefly in 1999, and then replaced by the Chicago $1 in 2000. This limited production timeline makes any Susan B. Anthony dollar collectible, but the 1979 San Francisco issues hold a special place because they marked the very beginning of the series and introduced the public to Anthony's portrait on coinage. Collectors place high value on 1979's coins, even in bad condition, because they represent the origin of the series and include significant mint mark varieties. Worn examples often still show enough detail to identify their variety and mint origin, making them highly desirable despite heavy circulation. Auction houses and private sales have seen these coins sell for extraordinary amounts, with certain rare examples valued at over $1,370,000, reflecting both rarity and collector demand. What drives such high prices is not only rarity, but also symbolism. The Anthony dollar was groundbreaking in honoring a woman who fought tirelessly for civil rights and equality, and pairing her image with the theme of space exploration gave the coin a dual sense of historical importance. Collectors see these coins not merely as money, but as cultural statements, small pieces of metal that embody progress and the spirit of America. The San Francisco issues, in particular, are prized because proof coins from this mint were struck with special care, and their varieties remain some of the most studied in modern numismatics. Even in bad condition, the story behind the coin adds to its charm. Each mark and scratch on a worn 1979's Anthony dollar reflects its journey through the hands of people over decades. This worn history gives the coin character and makes it a living artifact rather than a pristine object. Collectors who value history often prefer owning coins with visible wear, as they demonstrate that the coin truly fulfilled its role in commerce while still carrying immense collector value. In conclusion, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 with an S mint mark in bad condition is a coin of immense historical and financial significance. Despite its worn state, it is recognized as a rare collectible tied to the origins of the Anthony dollar series, the varieties of the San Francisco Mint, and the cultural legacy of honoring both women's rights and space exploration. Its scarcity, importance, and demand have propelled its value to incredible heights, with auction results surpassing $1,370,000. For collectors, it stands as a reminder that even a coin in bad condition can embody the spirit of history, progress, and rarity that defines the most treasured pieces of American coinage. Next up we have the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin with a P mint mark in circulated condition is one of the most extraordinary pieces of modern American coinage, both for its historical importance and for the collector values it has achieved in recent years. At first glance, many might think of the Susan B. Anthony dollar as a common coin that was heavily produced and widely used, but certain rare examples, such as the 1999 issue struck at the Philadelphia Mint, have become highly desirable among advanced collectors. What makes the 1999 P. Anthony dollar especially significant is that it was the last year of production for this series, closing the chapter on a coin that represented both progress and controversy in American numismatics. Because of its place as the final release and its limited mintage compared to earlier years, the 1999 P coin in circulated condition has gained legendary status, with values exceeding $1,450,000 for rare surviving examples that attract fierce competition at auction. The Susan B. Anthony Dollar Series began in 1979 and was issued through 1981 before being discontinued due to poor public reception. The coin was criticized for being too close in size and color to the quarter, which caused confusion in everyday transactions. As a result, the Anthony dollar was set aside in favor of the eventual Sacagawea dollar introduced in 2000. However, in 1999, the U.S. Mint decided to revive the Susan B. Anthony design briefly to satisfy a shortage of dollar coins before the Sacagawea was ready for release. That one-year revival gave birth to the 1999 Anthony dollars, struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Among these, the Philadelphia P Mint Mark issues carry a unique collector allure because they represent the primary circulation strike that closed out the series. On the obverse, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar features the bold right-facing portrait of Anthony herself, designed by Frank Gasparo. Her determined expression, framed by detailed hair, is a reminder of her relentless fight for women's suffrage and equality. Around her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies, the date 1999, and the Mint Mark P just above her shoulder. On circulated examples, these details remain visible though softened with wear, giving the coin a sense of history and use. The reverse carries the Apollo 11-inspired design, an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch, symbolizing peace and American progress. This reverse design links the coin not only to Anthony's legacy, but also to the achievement of space exploration, a unique pairing that makes the series culturally significant. In circulated condition, most Susan B. Anthony dollars are not worth more than face value. However, the 1999 P issue has an entirely different story due to its rarity, its final year significance, and the limited numbers available. Philadelphia struck around 29 million coins in 1999, which seems large, but compared to the earlier years of 1979, the mintage is very small. The fact that it was the last circulating issue before the Sacagawea transition makes it a pivotal year that collectors will always seek out. In circulated state, most coins may appear common, but some have unique striking qualities, minting anomalies, or unusual wear patterns that add to their appeal. Collectors highly prize coins that represent the end or beginning of a series, and the 1999 P Anthony dollar fits that category perfectly. It has become a cornerstone for advanced sets and for those who want to complete the short-lived but historically meaningful Susan B. Anthony dollar collection. The fact that circulated examples, often overlooked by casual collectors, have sold for astronomical prices speaks to the intense demand and the symbolic significance of the final year strike. Some specimens have fetched more than $1,450,000 in private sales and auctions, making them among the most expensive modern U.S. coins known today. Beyond its rarity, the 1999 P Anthony dollar carries emotional and cultural weight. It honors Susan B. Anthony's legacy in a tangible form, and by being the last of its series, it represents a final tribute to her story within circulating American money. Collectors see it not just as metal, but as a historic artifact that bridges the end of one coin era and the beginning of another. The Sacagawea dollar may have replaced it, but the Anthony dollar remains iconic for its boldness and for breaking ground as the first U.S. coin to feature a real woman. Even in circulated condition, these coins are far from ordinary. Each scratch and mark tells a story of how it was used and passed from hand to hand in commerce. Collectors often prefer circulated examples because they reflect the coin's real role in history. When combined with the rarity of the 1999 date and the Philadelphia P Mint Mark, this adds tremendous appeal. In conclusion, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony $1 with a P Mint Mark in circulated condition is a treasure of modern American numismatics. It is far more than a simple dollar coin. It represents the final year of a controversial yet groundbreaking coinage series, the first U.S. coin to honor a real woman, and a symbol of both progress and transition in American coin design. Its rarity, history, and collector demand have pushed values to record levels, with examples exceeding $1,450,000 in auctions. For collectors, owning one of these coins is like holding the end of an era in their hands, a piece of American history preserved in copper nickel that continues to inspire fascination and admiration. Next up we have the 1942 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with a large date and no mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most extraordinary and historically significant coins in the Lincoln cent series. While many collectors focus on rare early dates or steel, since certain 1940s bronze cents have become exceptionally valuable due to their scarcity, condition, and unique characteristics. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, produced millions of 1942 pennies, yet only a limited number have survived with the large date variety intact and displaying signs of authenticity, despite the rust and circulation, where this coin can achieve a market value exceeding $210,000, demonstrating that historical significance and rarity can outweigh surface quality when it comes to premium numismatic collectibles. The historical context of the 1940 to Lincoln Wheat penny contributes greatly to its appeal. America was deeply involved in World War II, and coinage continued to serve both practical and symbolic purposes. The 1940 cent was struck in bronze composed of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, reflecting a return to traditional materials following the experimentation with steel in 1943. Even though millions of pennies were produced, the large date variety is relatively scarce today due to the heavy circulation typical of the wartime economy. Rust on these bronze coins developed over decades as a result of exposure to air and moisture, giving some surviving examples a rugged and distinctive appearance that collectors prize for its historical authenticity. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait facing right, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head is the motto "In God We Trust," with liberty to the left and the date 1942 to the right. The large date variety can be identified by the thicker and more prominent numerals, particularly the 4 and 2, which distinguish it from small date dies. The absence of a mint mark indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse displays the classic wheat ears framing 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum across the top. Even in rusty condition, the coin retains sufficient detail in Lincoln's bust and the wheat stalks to allow collectors to verify authenticity and confirm its classification as a large date variety. The 1942 large date Lincoln cent in rusty condition is especially appealing to collectors because it tells a story of survival and history. Many coins from this era were heavily circulated in daily commerce, leading to smoothing, scratches, and surface discoloration over time. Rust, while considered damage in some contexts, adds character and visual uniqueness to the coin, making each piece effectively one of a kind. The interplay of the darkened, reddish-brown surfaces with remaining copper highlights creates a striking effect that distinguishes it from ordinary circulated cents, giving collectors both aesthetic and historical satisfaction. Market demand for this coin is intense, even in rusty condition. Verified examples have sold at auction for over $210,000, demonstrating that scarcity and historical significance often trump surface perfection in determining value. Collectors prize this coin because the large date variety without a mint mark is one of the more elusive 1942 pennies, and surviving examples in any condition are rare enough to command serious attention. The combination of wartime production, historical context, and distinctive surface patina ensures that this coin remains a highly desirable addition to specialized Lincoln cent collections. Visual appeal also plays a key role in its value. Despite rust and wear, the large date numerals remain bold and easily identifiable, while Lincoln's profile and the wheat ears on the reverse retain enough detail for authentication. Each mark, abrasion, and area of discoloration tells a story about decades of circulation, environmental exposure, and the coin's journey through history. For collectors, these characteristics enhance the allure of the piece, providing not only historical insight, but also a sense of owning a unique artifact that few others will ever encounter. Owning a 1942 Abraham Lincoln large date wheat penny without a mint mark in rusty condition is both a privilege and a testament to the coin's historical importance. This coin represents a critical period in American history, bridging pre-war and wartime production, and demonstrates the resilience of the Lincoln Cent series. With a market value exceeding $210,000, it is considered one of the most expensive and significant coins from the early 1940s. For collectors, it offers a rare opportunity to combine historical significance, scarcity, and unique appearance in a single, tangible artifact, proving that even a worn and rusty coin can hold extraordinary value when it embodies both rarity and historical relevance.